Welcome to BZen TV. Tonight we've got two amazing guests for you guys. So first, Felicia Bender, the Practical Numerologist, is joining us to teach us how we can use the information found in our birthday to learn more about ourselves and our life journey. Now, if you guys are into astrology, you're going to love numerology. And for the skeptics out there, I get it, but stick around because your mind just might be blown. Then Annie Schmidt from SOS Organization Systems is here to teach us how we can calm the clutter in our lives, calm the chaos, and beautify our spaces. She has 3 professional organizing tips for us and a philosophy about how we can maintain our systems so that things stay beautiful. Let's dive right in, you guys.
Well, Felicia, thank you so much for joining us today to give us our cosmic forecast for this year and this month. It's so exciting to have you here. I'm a huge fan.
Oh, thank you. I didn't know that. So that's wonderful. You're a numerology geek. Okay.
Big time numerology geek. I've been reading your monthly forecast, honestly, as long as I can remember online.
Okay. That's a little scary, but okay. Thank you.
Is it? Oh, don't be scared. Tell everybody out there who is still learning about all of this what their numerology forecast is and like what a universal year is and a universal month so they can understand how they can use this info.
Absolutely, because most of us know what astrology is, right? Because we've had horoscopes in the newspaper and all of that for a long time, but not much about numerology. So numerology basically, just to give people an idea, it's like, what is that, right? It's an art and science of numbers. Basically, the idea is numbers carry with them not only a quantitative value, like you can count something, 1, 2, 3, 4, and yet the numbers 1 through 9 carry with them a vibratory influence, a frequency. They contain data. And it's kind of like, really, how does that work, right? And yet, as we get more into our technological world that we're in, everything's digitized. Everything is number code, right? So numerology, again, is a code. It's a language. And so we believe that when numbers show up, they show up with information. Right? And so with that said, in numerology, we can look at your name, your full name, and then your birth date. And we can devise a basic profile for you, a blueprint, a map, whatever. Also really clear about this. This is not, destiny. You have no choice. It's fated. This is basically a map. It's like which direction you're going. You can take any direction you want, or you can decide not to go there, right? I mean, just because you're in the car headed that direction doesn't mean that you don't veer off and go somewhere else.
And I feel like if you are a skeptic or you're unsure, getting your numerology, you're reading, like finding out your destiny number, learning more about your personality. And really for me, it was like the personal year and the personal month numbers that really sold me. And I was like, okay, this just makes so much sense. I mean, for example, 2020 was a universal 4 energy, which was so reflected in the way that we were all spending our time at home, for the foundational number. So I feel like once you experience it yourself, you're like, okay, wait, there's something to this. It's just so dead on.
I always say it's a little creepy in some ways.
It's a little creepy. It's so good.
Yeah, because I'm so fascinated by it, and it continues to fascinate me, and I'm simply the translator, right? So that's a really fun aspect to it. And yet to go to what you're saying is the universal year in numerology, it's you just take the year that we're in to this year, 2021, you just add it together. Very simple addition, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 1, that equals 5. We're in a 5 universal year. It's kind of like the direct, and to understand what that means, well, what does that mean, universal year? It is an energetic influence, numerologically speaking, that all of us globally are engaged with. So it's kind of like knowing, this year, metaphorically, are we all in a collective road trip to Disneyland? Or are we going to a retreat in the Himalayas? Or, right? It's like, what direction? Where are we headed this year? And so this year is a 5. The 5 is, it's a roller coaster. right? We can feel this already.
That sounds already, this is checking all the boxes. Yep.
It is. And so the 5 is the number in numerology of freedom. Overall, and it's the number of change, versatility. So it's very frenetic. It feels kind of edgy. It feels like we got to go, we got to do, we got to change it, we got to move things, right? And so
100%.
That's what this whole year is all about. So, and part of numerology is understanding, okay, what are the optimal elements here, right? What is it all about? And yet know that we're always going to be working with some of the challenge points there, maybe some of the oppositions.
And I feel like if you know that this is going to be a cycle, right? And it's going to last for a certain amount of time, but then things are going to change again.
Yes.
I feel like it keeps us from getting too stuck on, maybe some of the negative or the things that we're growing through right now.
Yes.
Like it's always helped me to read my forecast and be like, okay, I can expect, it might be a little bit rocky in this area, but if I use the time for these optimal, areas of growth where you have new opportunities. So in a 5-year, what do you think people could be focusing on right now to, really use this energy for their benefit?
Well, you're using the optimal word, which is focus.
Oh, okay. All right.
Because in the 5-year, it feels like there's so much coming at you, so many choices, so many things, so many things, so little time. So part of the 5 is freedom through self-discipline. The constructive use of freedom. So it's making, at this point of the year, for all of us, we're kind of doing the been there, done that, right? We're kind of going, oh, that won't work. Nah, maybe not. And now going, okay, now what holds some potential, some real potential? What can we really now focus on, claim, and then and move forward with, rather than all of the multitasking kind of energy, right? So it's
okay. So trying to find the focus in all of the freedom that's starting to come up, and it's been so much change. Like that really made a lot of sense when you said it's a frenetic energy, because some people are able to get back to work and do certain things. Some people aren't. It's like things are a little all over the place.
Exactly.
And it's so interesting how also each month has a different vibration.
Yes.
So will you explain the month of June? Because we're all, we all just entered June and this is a new energy. How can we use this month collectively?
Well, this month overall, as a universal month, it's a pretty highly charged one. It is an 11. That is a master number. That repeating double-digit one. So the 11 is considered a master number. Also, just to kind of sidle it up with astrology, lots of eclipses this month and moving into this month. Mercury's in retrograde, and so believe it or not, you can feel it. I mean, everyone is a little bit like, okay, let's hold on to the railings, right?
And things are very stop and go, and kind of like we don't really know what's going to come next.
Yes. So the 11 energy for June, overarchingly for all of us, is the 11 is the number of spiritual illumination. Not to put too fine a color on it. It really is here to allow you to, a very rudimentary description would be for the month, slow down, even though you'll feel like you need to do. So slow it down a little bit, because it's time, what it's attempting to get us all to do is to open up to our intuitive voices, to those messages. A lot of times in this month, those of you out there, have you been seeing maybe repeating numbers? Have you been getting little glitches of insight that you can't explain, or something like that? We have to be quiet and be open, but this is a great month for everyone to be open to changing course, getting some lightning bolt ahas, right?
What do you think some of the challenges could be? And I don't know if you like to marry numerology with astrology. You mentioned the eclipses. I know you do that on with the Astro Twins. Love them. Love the podcast episodes you guys do together. But do you kind of interpret the eclipses and bring it in when you're thinking through the month's energy? And if so, how would you explain that?
Well, in some ways, I have to be very, very upfront. I know I love astrology, and I know just enough to be dangerous, is what I like to say.
Right. I love that. Yes. We get you. We know what you mean.
And what I mean by that is I know that, again, the brush stroke, and yet I go to my experts. I go to
Yes.
Tali and Ophi and my astro connection there to really get the down and dirty on it. So let's step back a little bit. So the personal year, the universal year, is that overarching energy that we all feel. And then there's a personal year cycle. This is a much more immediate energy that each of us individually feel. And so the beauty of it is this is an easy calculation as well. So you take your day, well, your month of birth. Can we do yours?
Okay.
Just your month.
Let's do it. Sure. So 9, I was born in September.
September, and your day.
On the 9th.
So 9/9 is what you're saying?
9/9.
Okay. So 9/9. We don't look
And
at the birth year on this. You don't have to do your year. And so what we do is then replace the year of birth with the current year to find out what your personal year is going to be. So we would take 9 plus 9, and we already talked about that 2021 is a 5. So we do 9 plus 9 plus 5. So that's 9 and 9 is 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, right? In numerology, so you're like 23, what do I do with that? In numerology, we're always reducing to a 1-digit number. So if you add and you still have 2 digits, you just continue to add. So 2 plus 3 equals 5. So, darling, you're in a 5 personal year and a 5
I feel it.
and a 5 universal year. So you are doubling down on the, get me out here. It's a very sensuous time. It's a great time for travel. It's super sexy. All of this. Seriously. So it's kind of true, though. It does have that energetic influence there. There's no hard start and hard stop with this. It's like threads to a tapestry. And so you're exactly right. In a 4 year, you're meant to be getting a little serious about what you're doing. Get a longer range plan, get a longer range goal going on. Start setting up the systems that are going to take this into the next stage. So there you are, you're training, and then the 5 is like, now you have that foundation, you have this boundless platform for freedom. So if we get back to that personal year, so each personal year, knowing that theme to your party, and we just did the calculation. So if you're there, so the one personal year is new starts, because the personal year cycle is a 9-year cycle. So we believe that we go through these 9-year cycles, birth to death, throughout our lives. So the thing about it is again, it opens these doors and also shows you how to be most successful, and then also what to work with, what the challenges might be. So that one personal year, new starts, new beginnings, independence. It's an open door. You are really going out of the chute and starting a brand new cycle. You have to be really mindful about what seeds you're planting in that one. Yeah. The 2 personal year is more of a rest period. It's more focused on love and relationships, on getting your emotional acuity going. For business, it's really great for networking, that sort of thing. The 3-year, self-improvement, communication, emotional renovation, so to speak.
It's so fun. I love 3 energy.
It is fun, and yet the caveat for the 3 is that you get to get up close and personal with maybe some emotions that you've been wanting to avoid, or being put in situations where you have to speak your truth, where you have to really communicate more clearly and more directly and more authentically. So that 4, foundations, family stuff. 5 is freedom, travel, sex, all those wonderful things. The 6th year, family, responsibility, home. The 7 is more spiritually introspective, kind of a resting period, a planning, organized learning time. 8 is the beginning of a 3-year, what I call a push time transition cycle. The 8 is money, power, empowerment, and it's a pretty endurance laden year. The 9 is endings, conclusions, wrapping things up and letting things go so that you'll be ready for the new chapter.
It's just so beautiful how all of the energies and vibrations flow and teach you different lessons. And like, I feel like once you're tuned in, I love that you said it's empowering, because it really is. Like, you could just get such a sense of comfort and focus. It's a great way to like set up your goals and to learn more about yourself and really use the energy and become more aware of just like your life and how you're moving through it.
Absolutely.
Versus just kind of being like, wait, what? Why is this happening right now?
Why is this all so like, random, right? And,
right.
Because it really isn't.
Felicia, I appreciate you coming on the TV show and the podcast so much. I know you're so busy, and I just appreciate your time. You're so fascinating. I could talk to you for hours, so I will have to invite you back sometime. Please come back and tell us more.
It's just great fun. It is fun. And
it is so much fun.
If it isn't fun, what's the point, right? We're all here to learn,
exactly,
to grow, and to really, I think it's less even about learning lessons, because that always sounds so punitive, right? Oh, you're going to learn your lesson.
It does.
We're already fully there. It's all there. It's just, what we're doing now is chipping away all the gook that's covering it up, right? We're like, oh, you got to get rid of that so that actually we can just be that, reveal that to ourselves.
The clarity, the permission slip that it gives you. It's like you can not waste all the time that you would kind of trying to figure it out. Instead, you're like, okay, this is who I'm meant to be. This is where I can shine. I'm just going to be it. I'm just going to step into it.
I'm going to go with that, and I'm going to align with that, because when we get off, we know it. We're like, ugh, this doesn't feel good.
We can feel it. I have to know before you go, what's your life path number, Felicia?
I'm a 3.
I knew it. I was just going to say, you've got to be a 3, because I like your energy so much. I love 3s, 6s, 9s,
Well, we all have our issues. So just so you know, out there, all the numbers, you're like, oh, there's no favorite number. They're all, we've all got our shining moments and then our little dark corners. So,
Well, Felicia, thank you so much. Have an amazing rest of your day. And
you too.
I can't wait to check in with you again in the future.
I'd love to. It's been wonderful to meet you. Thank you.
You as well. Well, Annie, thank you so much for joining us. Okay. You're the founder of Schmidt Organization Systems, and your tagline is efficient organization to bring you peace. We love that.
Yes, I'm all about the calm right now, especially in this crazy world we live in, right?
Yes, 100%. It's like one thing that we can just control, and it just automatically lifts your mood.
Yes.
To walk into a beautiful, organized space, doesn't it?
I totally agree, Brit. Totally agree.
So what are some of first of all, what's your organizing philosophy? Because I feel like for us, like non-professionals, it can just feel overwhelming to even begin to address the clutter and some of those spaces that we've been avoiding.
Yes, I agree. I mean, I am all about, like we said, I want to bring calm to the chaos, because just with COVID, I'm a busy mom. I just feel like there's so much anxiety and so much craziness in our world right now. So for me, a calm space and a non-cluttered and organized space just really reduces my stress and helps me.
Yes.
And I think I have kids too. So this really kind of popped up for me when I was nesting and like getting all ready for my babies. I needed to have everything in order and everything kind of in its place. So, so it kind of came from there, but my philosophy with this whole thing is just really that an organized home allows you to spend time on the things that really matter, like for like your family and what you really like to do instead of living in chaos and clutter.
Totally. Like, I think that it just reduces your baseline anxiety to the point where you really can focus. You're not hunting for things. You're not running around, rushing. Like, you can start to enjoy a calmer, more serene pace of life. We love that, especially for you. Like you said, you're a mom. I know a lot of our viewers and listeners are moms. And I think that sometimes it's like one of those things we put to the back burner because we don't know where to get started or how to do it. But if we just did it,
Yes.
Like it would set us up for success, right?
Yes,
So
totally. So yeah, I mean, that kind of takes me into what you just said, is that everything in your house needs to have a home. It needs to have a space to live in. So to set yourself up for success, just start to make sure that you're getting rid of all the clutter on your countertops and the clothes on your closet floor. Everything needs to have a space to live in. And if you know, SOS can come help you figure out what that space is and make it, make it a home and declutter and help you purge. But I think that that's my top tip, is to just make sure that everything has a home.
Everything has a home. And I love SOS, by the way, because that's what it is. It's like SOS call, like,
I know. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So my name's Annie Schmidt. So Schmidt is the Schmidt, and then organization, and then systems, because really organization, from what I've learned and just doing this for a while now, is that everything needs to not only have a home, but you need to create a system. And that includes certain ways to do that are to purge and sort. So like I said, declutter, get everything off of your counters, get everything put away. Sort it into groups. So in a closet, I like to sort your workout wear together, or your cocktail dresses, shoes, obviously that kind of stuff. In a pantry, you're going to sort all your pastas together, your condiments, that kind of stuff. And then the next step is to contain. And then, so that's buying the product. You want to make sure you always measure before you do that. So always make sure you measure your space, the depth, the height, and make sure that you're doing that before you purchase product, or else you're just going to have stuff that you're not going to use. And then the third step to making the system is to label. You have to label, because that is what is going to create that future home, so that everybody in the family knows where to put it back. So yes. So for example, in a pantry, when you're creating your system, you've purged it, you've got your containment, but you have to put that label in so that everybody in the family knows where the peanut butter belongs, because everybody has a different space for that. So, so to create that system from SOS, Schmidt Organization Systems, you've got to purge, contain, and label.
Purge, contain, and label. Okay. And also, doesn't it just look so pretty when you open up a pantry and everything's labeled? Like, it's just very satisfying.
Yes. And that is what I think, anybody can go and buy like plastic bins at Container Store or Target. But that's one thing that I really specialize in, is to try to beautify those spaces as well as organize. Obviously, the most important thing in organization is function. So you want to make sure that it's set up for success for the family long term. But it's really important to make it beautiful as well. Some of these houses that I go into, they've had interior decorators and the house is stunning, but the pantry opens up to the living room and you can see it all. So I think that only needs to be, not only needs to be functional, but it needs to be beautiful as well, to mix in with the aesthetic of the home. So, so that's a really fun part of this job for me as well, is to make it beautiful and to bring in colors and products that really match the rest of it to make that beautiful system.
Well, and if people just go to your SOS Home Organization Instagram, there is a lot of just beautiful, I mean, the pictures, it really motivates you. It's like, okay, I want to start cleaning, because some of these before and afters they're gorgeous. And I saw one of your posts where you talked about how you went to a friend's house, you were having coffee, and, in 30 minutes, like, you had extra bins from another job, and in 30 minutes, you guys completely transformed her pantry. So sometimes it's just, I feel like it's just getting started and like finding the motivation, because that was, a coffee date that you guys turned into just a really wonderful experience. And now her whole family gets to enjoy that.
Yes, that was so much fun. I mean, but like you said, I mean, a lot of times it's just bringing in a friend to get you motivated, or, SOS can come help you do that. But these projects can be daunting to tackle them by yourself. So
100%. Yes.
You did mention that was a coffee date. So that friend did get me caffeinated, and then we were motivated, ready to go. And if you just have a friend to help you take things out, figure out the next step, clean it out and sort it together. I mean, even I'm doing this professionally now, and even I sometimes will have one of my best friends come over and just sit with me while I edit my closet and give me opinions and just keep me going because it's not as much fun to do your own stuff. But
it's really not. Yeah, you can make it fun. Bring a friend. Yeah, turn it into like an experience.
Yes. Good. I'm so glad I'm helping.
For helping us to get our heads around this. It's been Mercury retrograde, so this is a good time to reorganize, do all the things. So people want to work with you and your company. What kind of packages or what do you offer? What's the best way to do that and get started?
Yes. Well, we are happy to help anybody in the Dallas area. We do all kinds of projects, whatever you need. I start with a consult. Okay. So you would just reach out to me via email. It's soshomeorganization@gmail. Or you can go on Instagram and message me at SOS Home Organization. My website is soshomeorg.com. So you can reach out any of those ways. And then I come over for a consult to your house. And in that consult, we discuss what your goals are for the project. We discuss aesthetic. Like I said, I want to make it look great with the rest of your house. I take all my measurements and then we set a budget. We can talk, how much you want to spend. And then from there, we can set an install date. And I usually book out about a month. We can find a date that works for both of us. And either myself or I'll bring, depending on the size of the project, I'll bring some of my team members and we can come in and just knock it out for you. And then you can be there, you can be out and about, you can whatever, and then come home for a big reveal. And that's the best part. And then you just live in peace.
It's like your own TLC home makeover moment.
Oh my gosh, we actually had that conversation yesterday. So I did this great project in Preston Hollow, and we added wallpaper to a pantry, which was so much fun.
Glam.
So it was glam, and we did that. And the client was out. She's a realtor, so she's out selling houses, and she came home at the end of the day, and we did this big reveal. And she's like, "I feel like we're on, the home channel, and we are on HGTV about to do this reveal." I'm like, "This is the most fun part of my job because it makes somebody else so excited." So we had so much fun with it.
Oh my gosh. Well, Annie, that is so much fun. And that does make me want to have that moment. And I'm sure everybody listening and watching is getting excited about having that moment too. There's nothing like having a space that you love because we spend the most time in our homes, right? I mean, that is what we see every day. And if it looks beautiful, that elevates our mood. I feel like it motivates us, makes our lives easier. And when it's messy, it's just stressful. We've all been there.
Amen.
I've let my closet get crazy and you're like, I have nothing to wear when really you have everything to wear. You just can't find it. So.
It's just hard to get dressed when you don't see what you have and it's not in the right order. Correct. Yeah, I totally agree.
Well, thank you for all the tips and for helping us get inspired. I really appreciate you being here, Annie.
Yeah, I appreciate being asked. Thank you so much for having me on your show. So much fun.
Thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode of BZen TV. We can't wait to see you for another all-new show, June 24th. And in the meantime, we just launched a podcast called BZen with Brit on Yay Networks that you guys can download every Tuesday on all major podcast platforms. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and I'll see you soon.